Exercise 4. In this exercise, we'll split data into the proper region column. The data is stored in the table named TBL_item. Let's write the formulas to compute the report values. Equals SUMIFS. Add up the table's amount column. Only include those rows where the item column is equal to our item. Since we're about to fill the formula down and to the right, we'll lock down the column reference. And only include those rows where the region column is equal to our region. Since we're about to fill the formula down and to the right, we'll lock down the row reference. Close the function and hit enter. Fill the formula down and to the right. And I think we're good.
This video is a production of Excel University.
Chapter 23, Mapping Tables. In practice, there are times when the label on one sheet is different from the label on another sheet. For example, the label on the trial balance sheet may be cash, while the label on the balance sheet may be cash and cash equivalents. In these kinds of situations, it is fairly common practice to retrieve the balance sheet value from the trial balance using a direct cell reference, such as B15. This type of direct cell reference is a huge problem for recurring use workbooks because of the many reasons cited throughout this course. For example, the value's location may change in a subsequent period, or the user may sort the data. Thus, we prefer lookup functions to direct cell references. The lookup functions we've explored try to find the lookup value in the lookup range, or, said slightly differently, try to find a label in the related label range. When the two labels are the same, for example, cash and cash, there's no problem and everything works as expected. However, when the lookup label, for example, cash and cash equivalents, differs from the label stored in the lookup range, for example, cash, and we use exact match logic, the function breaks. This chapter introduces the idea of maps, or mapping tables, which enable us to use lookup functions and conditional summing even when labels differ. We'll also discover that maps enable us to distribute a value in a source table to multiple reports stored in multiple sheets, even when the report uses a different label or term for the value. Indeed, the map becomes an important sheet for many recurring use workbooks. The map is simply a reference table that maps one label to another. Since we lay out the map in a table, it's easy to use Excel formulas to translate between the two different labels. This structure also makes it easy to aggregate many rows into a single report row. For example, mapping 3 trial balance accounts to a single balance sheet row. The mechanics are easy. We basically rely on our dear friend SUMIFS to pull the numbers from the data source to the map, and then from the map to the report. Let's explore this idea with the Mapping Workbook. Exercise 2. Here, we need to get a trial balance to flow into a balance sheet. The balance sheet is here on the Exercise 2 worksheet. The trial balance is stored on the data sheet. The data is stored in a table named TBL E2 Data. Since the labels are different, we'll need to set up a map. The map is here on the E2 map sheet in a table named TBL E2 map. This map stores the translation between the trial balance and the balance sheet. Step number 1 is to get the data from the trial balance into the map. Equals SUMIFS. Add up the trial balance table's amount column. Only include those rows where the table's account name column is equal to our account name. Close the function and enter. Good. Now step 2, getting the data from the map into the report. On the balance sheet, we'll use a SUMIFS function. Equals SUMIFS. Add up the map table's amount column. Only include those rows where the FS line column is equal to our label. Close the function and enter. Good. Now we just copy the formula and paste, paste, and paste. Good. This is beautiful. The labels are different, and we actually mapped many accounts to a single financial statement line. Plus, we can paste in an updated trial balance anytime. The map will immediately pull the updated values, and the report will immediately pull in the updated map values. That's hands-free reporting, baby. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it possible, using this technique, to route an account value to many different reports, even if the labels on each report are different? I'll let you think about it a moment before you do just that in the homework exercises. The simple idea of mapping is powerful. It allows us to automate the data flow, even when the labels are different.
This video is a production of Excel University.
Exercise 1. In this exercise, we'll get warmed up with a simple mapping table. Let's take a quick tour of the worksheets. The E1 data sheet contains the data. The data is stored in a table named TBL_E1_data. This data needs to flow into the map. The map is stored on the E1 map worksheet.